The Anachronauts. They travel through time by downloading history to their brains and archive the past in order to save the future. With their trusty brain download computer, the Epic Traversier, they randomly visit the past year after year. Join them as they embark on their next adventure. Prepare yourself for Anachronology.
Well, hey, welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning back in from after the break from one of our sponsors. It's the year 2017 here in Anachronology. And Tom, if these people are watching Anachronology, isn't there something else we have a little more Anachronology for them?
That is right, Clay. If you are aware and have been watching the show, you know that all the cool kids hang out at the Anachronology Patreon. We are partying it up at the Anachronology Patreon. Link below. You can join at any time. I think we have a really reasonable tier to join, monthly subscription. Basically, you're getting extra bonus stuff every episode. We're making full-on other segments, full-on categories. We're doing watch throughs now. We had that with Mr. Dress Up in season 1 with Anachronology Meets series. It's just not going to stop. We're going to be making a ton of extra content for Patreon members and a lot of other fun special stuff. Our very own AI producer has recently started getting into the music business and is starting to pump out some pretty dope tracks that we'll start premiering on the show, even for some of our sponsors and for Patreon members. Oh boy, we got something special in store for you. If you join Patreon for the season 2 run, you're getting something real good at the end.
Yeah, we don't want to say exactly what it's going to be, but as Tom mentioned, it definitely has something to do with AI producers' brand new foray into the music industry, and
Unreal.
We'll be teasing a little bit of that here as the weeks go by. But yeah, so long story short, thank you so much for watching us here or listening to however you happen to enjoy our program. And if you want to enjoy it a little more and you have $5 to spare, why don't you check out Anachronology on Patreon, patreon.com/Anachronology, and you get basically a whole extra show every week. But you can still hang out here and subscribe. You can do that. But if you feel you can come.
We appreciate you. We'll make that known with all the Patreon footage. But yeah, absolutely. It's a fun extra kind of party going on here in Anachronology world. But dude, amazing 2017 episode, rounded it off. Cat 3.
And speaking of that, we have Bing Bong Boom, a new category of anniversaries.
Wow. So what even? When this came up, I'm like, what the hell is this? I love it. AI, the mind of you and AI.
Yeah, there is some. There is definitely like a little. One thing that I thought was pretty interesting, since the program we usually are confined within the years of 82 to the present day. This is, I guess, AI's way of having some things that occurred, and they had their anniversary in the year 2017, but they happened very, very long ago. So we get a little dip into the history of the world.
I love that.
Not necessarily the year in which it happened, but this is the anniversary of the year of
the milestones that drop in these years.
So we have, starting off way, way, way back, we got Martin Luther 500 years ago in 1517, his 95 Theses, or the Disputation on the Power and Efficacy of Indulgences, a list of propositions for an academic disputation written in 1517 by Martin Luther, then a professor of moral theology at the University of Wittenberg, Germany. Basically, Homeboy said, Catholic Church, I don't like what you're doing. Indulgences. That was a way for people with money to sin, basically pay money and say,
get out of jail free cards.
Yeah, I fornicated too much. I ate red meat on Friday. I murdered my stable boy. Whatever the hell they fucking did.
But I went to confession, so I cleared my soul.
I paid money. I paid money. So this was Martin Luther's way of saying, hey, Catholic Church, you guys are saying everything's got to be high and mighty and pious, but what you're doing instead is just giving some money to the guy in the Vatican to get out of the way.
I like it. He looks firm as fuck in that picture. I assume it's him with the hammer pointing at his papers on there. So I guess in a sense, was he the guy that kind of marveled and created the whole like basket being passed around in church? Like, give me some money. Was that an invention from this guy?
Oh no, I believe that's is I think the
Or is that just Catholic greed?
I think that's you know what? That's a good question of whether or not who invented the basket. I think tithing in the church has been around since before.
Hmm.
Uh, I think probably when someone was sitting on top of a rock in front of a bunch of people and saying, "I'm
Mhm.
hungry. Can you just pass around my little
Yeah.
stocking cap here?" But yeah, this homeboy, he was all about not having basically what the Catholic Church was saying. This is the way, the things you need to do in order to get into heaven,
Gotcha.
unless you give us some money.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
that way you can still get into heaven. It's like, just give
Mhm.
us some money. So
The
his
finer
whole,
print.
yeah,
Yeah.
so he basically was saying, I believe in God, but not in the way you guys believe in God, especially if the way in which you believe in him is
Wow.
to pay a bunch of money to get away with doing a bunch of
And he got the big anniversary in 2017.
500. And now we've got January 15th marks the 125th anniversary of James Naismith publishing The Rules of Basketball.
There he is. Look at that old basketball. Jesus Christ.
It looks like a medicine ball. It doesn't even look like a
It
basketball.
just looks like a fat football.
What is the bounce on that thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, what's the
exactly.
dribble?
What's
How does that
the give
dribble?
on that thing? I know, yeah, right. What was an old school dribble? I would assume it was way more, forceful, and probably, I mean, the technology of the basketball has probably evolved a lot, but he's a very proud looking gentleman there with
Man,
his
yo,
weird ball.
thank God the brothers got a hold of this sport too. Because look at this dude looking
Oh,
like
look
Howard
at that. I
Taft,
know.
dude, playing like this guy could dunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, dude. Looking like a fucking Kevin Kline's 19, 20-year-old relative and shit.
No, don't run down the court. You have to leisurely pace yourself. Like, this doesn't look
And
like you.
also, if like white dudes kept like captivating the sport, it would have looked so. I mean, again, no fashion would have been interjected. Cool sneakers, they'd have been in like proper. You know what they would have been in? They'd have been in those man rompers, man. It would have just been a whole teams of those man romper guys just running up on each other.
Funnily enough, what James Naismith wearing here is the first uniform for the basketball association.
An uncomfortable tweed suit,
A fucking tie,
God,
fucking cufflinks.
just chafe central.
125 years later, we
Way to
got
go, dog.
the slam dunk contest, Be Like Mike, etc., etc. Another passing of the 1967 Langston, the death of Langston Hughes, 50 years, was the American poet, social activist, novelist, playwright, and columnist from Joplin, Missouri, one of the
Wow.
earliest innovators of the literary art form called jazz poetry. Hughes is best known as the leader of the Harlem Renaissance, famously wrote about the period that the Negro was in vogue, which was later paraphrased to as when Harlem was in vogue.
Mm.
Well, I tell you what, Langston Hughes,
Poetry.
y'all fucking did a great job of making shit cool. So,
Oh, absolutely.
Great
And
job.
putting a great voice on it. But yeah, I don't know if I'm jazz poetry. Well, I unfortunately I don't think I'm a huge follower of Mr. Hughes's work. But I mean, jazz poetry is still a thing. People still are you an official jazz poet?
I think
Like, what's
that
the
kind of was
difference
like
between
became
regular poetry?
I think that was like scat. I think that like evolved, like
Oh,
scat poetry evolved out of jazz poetry.
oh, okay,
We
that
got
makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
so we got Not Without Laughter is one of his books.
Like a beat poet, like you'd go to the coffee shops and people would stand up and do like weird sing-songy poetry. Is that kind of what it turned into?
I'm guessing here because we have a long poem called Madrid as a reaction to assignment to write about Black Americans volunteering in the Spanish Civil War. He founded a bunch of play theater studios, writing novels, plays, poetry, operas, essays. Yeah. So, what is an example of jazz poetry? What do we have here? Poetry that demonstrates jazz-like rhythm or the
Okay.
feel of improvisation. So I
Okay.
guess it doesn't necessarily have to be improvised, but it
Like it.
demonstrates the jazz-like rhythm or the feel of improvisation. And we have Langston Hughes as the grandfather of that.
There he
His
is.
50th anniversary,
Wow.
RIP. Oh man, we got these whitey boys. June 1st, 67, the 50th anniversary of the release of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts
Wow.
Club Band by the Beatles.
Yeah, one of their finest for sure. One of the why I really I mean, I think I'm a self-proclaimed Beatles fan. I dig the Beatles in their library. But yeah, this is a special one. I always like to think that it's just like this was when the psychedelics probably started really really taking hold of their career. It's really nice, different.
Yeah, there is was it before this? Was Revolver? I think Revolver is the one before this.
Yes, I
and
think so.
I think Revolver's before this, and I believe that and I think they took like a year and a half off in between recording Revolver and then this, and everyone thought, like, "Oh, what are the Beatles doing? They're the Beatles. They're the Beatles are washed up. They're not." And then they dropped fucking Sergeant Pepper's,
Wow.
and it just blew
I
everybody's
know.
apart.
Can you imagine? I mean, again, I think we've discussed the Beatlemania on here a lot. Beatles are just weird because, like, you think of the Beatles. I always have this happen. I think of the Beatles, and then I realize just how long they were actually together.
8 years or
8
like 8 years.
years.
Yeah.
And a career that spans that much evolution and change and diversity and style and feel. I mean, again, it's so fucking storied, but you're just like, they wrote the fucking book, like, I don't know. A lot of people modeled their careers and their kind of discographies in this sense too. Afterward, they just like, they kind of paved a different path.
Weren't they like no one was older than like 27 or 28 when they broke up? Like they were like
I
that was
know.
can you imagine being
Fucking
dude, can you imagine being
imagine.
27 years old? Not only do you like not have to work again because you can just live off the money you made from being in the thing that you were before, but you're also arguably the biggest and best at the thing you
Yeah.
did. You were the biggest and
Right.
best at it ever. And then
I was delivering pizza at 27 years old. So let's just put all that into perspective. But you're right, man.
Yeah.
They were just, and
It's
again,
working in a
just
restaurant.
right. Just one of those crazy monumental moments. And Peppers is just like, there are just some, I got to say, there's some ride or die Beatles songs that are on my playlist, and a few of them come off Peppers. Like Peppers just has some tracks.
Man, freaking so 50th anniversary of Sergeant
It is.
Hughes, and then okay, so this was interesting. So I mainly kept this in here because it's the Boston Red Sox lose, and you and I are both Yankees fans.
Spoken like a true Yankees fan.
Yeah, you and I are both Yankees fans. So again, 50th anniversary of Bob Gibson's complete game victory over the Boston Red Sox in the 7th game of the World Series, giving St. Louis Cardinals the title and breaking the heart. So this is what I thought was interesting. Pardon me. And breaking the heart of an 8-year-old boy in Billerica, Massachusetts. I tried to like do some research and get some more info of where a producer got this tidbit of information. So I'm assuming some dying boy wanted the Red Sox to win because he was in Billerica,
It
Massachusetts.
was his like make-a-wish final
I
thing.
guess, man, and I can't find because I know that there's the one about the myth about Babe Ruth hitting home runs for a kid, but that's 50 years before this. This is like 67. Like Bob Gibson, one, I tip my hat to you for
fucking slayer.
For beating the Red Sox basically single-handedly, or you and Lou Brock, but also two for destroying the dreams of some tiny 8-year-old
honestly
boy.
For being so fucking ice cold that you just said, I'm taking this, and that kid died completely unfulfilled.
Yeah, so sorry. So I wish I had listeners, Tom. I wish I had more information about this fucking.
I know, and if you know, and if maybe your grandfather was this 8-year-old boy, can you give us more on that? What was his life like after this?
But for Gibson, Bobby Gibson, just bringing it home for the St. Louis Cardinals. Then we got we brought up Sherlock Holmes before on here. This is the 125th anniversary of the debut of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes. One thing that I wonder if they, I guess the debut. So this celebrating this being the anniversary of when it debuted, this dude Conan Doyle, he got so sick and tired of people writing him fan mail that he killed off Sir Sherlock Holmes. Like he got tired of fucking writing. Dude, he got tired of writing books because he wanted to be known for like not just the author of Sherlock Holmes, and so people kept writing him about, when's there gonna be another Holmes story? So he made, I think it's called the incident at Rickenbach Falls or whatever, where he falls off the fucking thing, and then the poor bastard wasn't making any more money because everything he was writing wasn't Sherlock Holmes.
Crap.
So he brought Sherlock Holmes back. So don't shoot yourself in the foot there, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Speaking of more sports, we have the 100th anniversary of the National Hockey League's founding.
The Cup. I
am not a big hockey guy. I just never got into it. But I want to say the first start. Let me because AI doesn't have this here. I want to say, what was the first teams in the NH. I think there's only like 4 teams in the NH.
Yeah, in the early iteration of the league, it was so small.
Montreal Canadiens, Toronto Maple Leafs, Boston Bruins, Detroit Red Wings, Chicago Blackhawks, New York Rangers. 6 teams,
It's
bro.
crazy, dude.
6
And they were all just like making up the sport as they went along, beating the shit out of each other. I mean, I do like the kind of the gladiator style of early hockey and just kind of
fight.
Yeah. And I got pretty swept up. I remember I liked hockey in like maybe the early 90s. And I remember that's kind of when the Bruins were hot. And it was all about like, I remember just like getting into the jerseys. I remember loving playing, back in the day, it was like you thought you could play hockey if you could have rollerblades in your fucking driveway and your friend had the fucking net. That was my one romance with hockey. But yeah, you're right. I don't think I've gotten as into it, but I am shocked. And you know what has always shocked me? How passionate and fucking fired up Florida hockey fans are and how good Florida hockey teams are.
The Tampa Bay Lightning.
They're fucking a dynasty.
Did they win Stanley Cup or no?
Dude, I mean, I feel like they have, and I just feel like they're a fucking competitor. Like they're always playing hard, but they've got a thing down there. They're fucking shit up. But again, yeah, diehard sport. People fucking love hockey.
What? The Tampa Bay Lightning has won 3 Stanley Cup championships.
Dude,
2004, 2020, 2021. They also reached the finals in 2015, 2022.
They're a competitor for
No
sure.
shit.
But yeah, I mean, people just fucking love their hockey.
No shit. Well, there is definitely people loving hockey after 100 years of it in 2017.
Congrats, hockey.
This is the first heart transplant.
Looks like a bloody mess.
Oh, yeah. December 3rd, the 50th anniversary of the first human heart transplant. Look, dude.
God.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 people in this fucking photo.
When was this? When did this happen?
This was December 3rd, 1967. The first human heart transplant.
It's weird, 60. I don't know why I would have put it earlier than 67, but wow, that's crazy. I mean, this was a different time. Technology wasn't there. Like you said, so many of these people now have been replaced with machines. Like, can you imagine just the stark comparison to a heart? I mean, a heart surgery is just like, I mean, even these guys doing it, it's just got to be like, they're like on their iPad, like watching YouTube while they're doing it and shit. It's just so easy.
Yeah, and imagine, like, I wonder if it's like, was there more chance to screw up back then or screw up now? You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if there's more. I wonder if there's more like fail safes then, or because it's I don't know. I'm not a fucking medical professional, so I'm not sure like what nuts and bolts goes into such an operation. But I would imagine there is probably a lot more leaning on the instrumentation than actual what's between the ears. So I wonder if you're better off then or better off now.
Also, this was probably that time too, where there was probably like a booze cart over to the side that you can't see, that they had some highballs passing around.
Yeah, right. Scalpel, fucking old fashioned. Just getting a little
nurse just giving him a sip of some fucking.
Got to steady my hand. What do we got here? This is the founding of Denali National Park and Preserve, February 26, 1917. 100 years of wildlife refuge in Alaska, in Denali National Park.
Beautiful.
I've never been to Alaska. Our old roommate, he's gone on a cruise to Alaska. I've known a couple people through work who have gone to Alaska. Everyone says the same thing. One of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. It's like,
it's just kind of like a hands down. You want some real beautiful, idyllic nature shit, you go to Alaska. But I mean, that looks like a cover of a fucking on the label of some fucking drinking water and shit. That looks perfect.
Denali.
And that's probably melted to, I don't know, 3/4 of that now.
Yeah, well, what better way to celebrate a national park than name a gas-guzzling SUV after it?
That's what I was thinking too. The Denali,
right?
Which took on a whole other level of douchebaggery.
What else do we have here? We've got March 6th for 57. This is 60 years for Ghana's independence. This is December 6th, 100 years for Finland's independence. July 1st. This is January 17th. this is 100 years of the Virgin Islands becoming part of the United States. So we got independence, and then you're part of ours now. So this is our nice
we'll take you now.
Take that.
Yeah. So in perfect tradition of the United States.
We'll just give it.
Yeah, I mean, yay independence. Boo occupation. I mean, that's kind of shitty, but I guess whatever. It's the way of the world. I mean, what a beautiful beach. I'm sure there's plenty of Marriott hotels on those coastlines now.
Hey, can we vote in your elections? No. You can be a tax haven for us, though. Okay. All right.
Listen, can we set up some offshore bank accounts there to wire some corporate greed?
All right.
We got a deal.
All right. We're technically not a stake, so there's the measures of financial reform don't really reach as far here at the U.S. Virgin Islands. And now we're wrapping up with some ladies here. July 18th. This is the 200-year anniversary of Jane Austen's death. English novelist known primarily for her 6 novels, which implicitly interpret, critique, and comment upon the British landed gentry at the end of the 18th century.
Saucy dame, that Jane Austen.
Yeah, I mean, I think didn't they make wasn't the early late 90s into some Jane Austen stuff kind of hit big with some Nightly movies?
I'm sure Hugh Grant was in one of those.
Hugh Grant in 1 or 2 of those. So 200 years later, so going strong. And then another lady, we have Marie Curie's birth, 150 years after.
She got in that vial.
Yeah, she's got radioactive shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so her and her husband's corpses are so radioactive that they're entombed in lead-lined caskets.
Whoa.
And their laboratory equipment and even their papers and cookbooks remain too radioactive to be handled safely.
That's pretty fucking baller. I mean, yeah, wow. Encased in fucking cement and shit.
Yeah, so, and what a perfect way to get you out of here. What a perfect way to go, letting off with Jane Austen and Marie Curie with our final segment for the show. And this is a brand new segment, and no better way to celebrate ladies than by celebrating it with thank you for your cervix. We have famous women of 20.
We love you, ladies.
We love you very much. So we have let's go through here the women that we should be celebrating here in 2017. This young lady here, Irene, it's Nkosi Nkosi, was in her teens when she learned she was HIV positive and pregnant. Yeah, so in her home country of South Africa, more than 5 million people are estimated to have HIV and AIDS. However, she has faced ostracism, but a nurse told her about Mothers to Mothers, a group that helps HIV-positive pregnant mothers prevent babies from contracting the disease. So she has made her life missions to educating women in her country of South Africa of what to do in order to prevent transferring HIV to her babies. So thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
Irene Nkosi. Next, we have the Comfort Women of Korea. This statue here memorializes women whom the United Nations estimates that 200,000 girls and women, mostly Koreans, were seized from villages to join Japan's military sexual slavery program before and during the Second World War. In South Korea, they're in about 50 different parks and public spaces. But here's a nice kicker. Japan wants these statues to come down. Some in the country's ruling party have questioned whether the war-era imperial government was really involved in the sex slave program, or as they contend, the women volunteered.
Oh, yeah. I'm
That's
sure
insane.
Your vagina serve our country, ma'am? Yes, it will. Get on the fucking boat.
These 200,000 women volunteered to be subjugated to
willingly too.
Sexual violence and rape. But these statues are made to illustrate the plight that they went through. And there's one woman who she says here, she has visited the statue, Anjane's son, who is a former comfort woman. She's 89 and she visits the statue often. It symbolizes the youth she lost at age 13 when the Japanese Imperial Army abducted her from her village.
Wow.
So I don't want to say thank you for your service your service.
Sorry for your service.
Yes, but fight the good fight. I think it's bringing at least anything you could do to bring the forefront of someone saying, are you sure that we really abducted you and put you in sexual
Yeah,
slavery? Or
exactly.
did you guys volunteer? I think anytime you can show the hypocrisy of that, I think you're doing a
Wow.
good thing. Look at this. We got Peggy Whitson, a retired NASA astronaut, broke the U.S. record for the most cumulative days spent in orbit on April
He looks
24th,
it in this picture. You're right.
2017.
He looks fucking exhausted.
Yeah, they just pumped her right down into the photo shoot. Like, put a smile on. I don't care.
All right, just step over here. We have a few lights at a photo studio set up for you to take your first picture back on the Earth.
534 days, 2 hours and 48 minutes took
Whoa,
place.
like all at once?
She was from days spent in orbit with. Okay, so as of April 24th, 2015, she was up there for 534 days, 2 hours, 40 minutes consecutively. Yeah, so minus fucking a year and a half plus from 2017. That's how long she was in space the whole time.
I know, and like I don't know, like I assume at some point, obviously, what the look on her face is, you just kind of just lose idea of anything, time, literal, like, you know, geography, anything. You're just in blackness for that long.
I want to know, like, you know, they can talk like I think there's like one dedicated phone line that NASA has, or the
Really?
ISS station has. I would love to see like her husband and kids, you know, calling her up on the street. She's got her like looking out a portcullis, like on the phone, a little porthole, just like looking at space, touching it. Like, Mom, when are you coming home? I'll be there soon. just fucking zenning out. Peggy, do you want to come back home? No.
As she uses a knife to kind of cut the glass slowly and slowly to try to break the seal.
Space madness. But Peggy, not only did
thank
she
you
have
for your cervix, Peggy.
yeah, not only that record, but also doing mad. She performed 10 career spacewalks, totaling 60 hours and 21 minutes. I tell you, that's better than her doing 10 consecutive space drives. Am I right, fellas? Get it.
Don't let her drive the moon rover.
Get it. And we got, all right, we've got Uzo Abduba. So it was the
She's
only
familiar.
She is from Orange is the New Black, and
that's what I'm like remembering her from.
Why is this? Come on. I know that there is video footage of this, and it's not in the queue.
This segment is actually brought to you by Orange is the New Black on Netflix.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. We'll fire this up. 1 second, please, everyone. Just bear with us. We got this. We got this.
Got down on that show, actually.
Neither did I. But this actress, she decided to join forces with the organization known as Heifer International. It aims to end world hunger by helping families gain self-reliance. It is the next step from teaching man to fish. Aduba says of Heifer's practice of gifting families a calf as an income source and then asking that family to pay it forward by gifting their heifer's first calf to another family in need. So I guess it is like over in Africa. Cow for a cow. Let me get rid of this and we will share. We actually have some footage of her doing this. Let's go to present. And here we go. We have this.
Are you kidding me? Move, bitch. This my wife here. So you understand? I will cut you. Don't make me cut.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your service there. Thank you. That was her. That was Uzo Adubo gifting a cow to someone in a prison. Thank you for your service at the stage. Next up, we've got Sam Rappaport, the former quarterback, got her start with the National Football League by making a Hail Mary. I see what they've done there, making a Hail Mary pass to the hiring committee. I sent a football with my resume and wrote what other quarterback could accurately deliver a football 386 miles. I see what she's done there. She is the
show up practice.
So among the breakthrough under her direction, the Buffalo Bills hired 2 female coaches and the Minnesota Vikings added 2 female scouts. So she is the delivery of football. Come on. The football. Oh, she is the director of football development.
Nice.
So director.
Okay. All right. I was like, did she jump in, play a little QB?
Yeah, director of man, I can only imagine
getting absolutely fucking annihilated by the crazy fucking juiced up meatheads in football.
A woman, I'm gonna break her fucking spine. But
yeah, I mean, she looks cool. She's down to play. Look, I think it's good. You gotta it can't just be a fucking boys club, man. You gotta have a little bit of the feminine side and things. I think it helps.
Yeah, it says here she's the director of football development, which I guess she asks all the football owners, "Did you do that yet? Did you get that done yet?" Oh God, I'm doing so horrible. I'm thanking you for your cervix. I have to do this. It's the show that we make jokes. I have to get out of here. I can't help it. Kathy Bates.
Oh God, Kathy. Good Lord.
Kathy Gates, after her double mastectomy in 2012, she was diagnosed with lymphedema, which is caused by a blockage to the lymph nodes, can lead to deadly sepsis. Jesus. Gates was shocked to learn that 10 million Americans suffer from lymphatic issues. Many doctors are required to learn that much about the subject. So she has become the spokesperson of the Lymphatic Education Research Network, using her high profile-ness as an Oscar-winning actress and her own battle with it to give back to the people who don't have as much as a voice.
No better person, but TV's Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates. Next, now this is a little in memoriam. We have Della Reese, who was Dangles in America, also on the Mod Squad, the Love Boat, Sanford Son, MacGyver, Night Court, The Young and the Restless.
Anything in the 80s that allowed a guest star, Della Reese showed up on one episode at least.
Thank you for your cervix, Stella. We have Jean Moreau, a icon of French New Wave cinema, who went on to become an international film star.
What's she holding there?
I believe that's just her purse. I believe it is a baguette.
Is your purse.
It is a baguette purse. My baguette. It is.
It looks like a Chipotle burrito.
yeah. It looks like that gold. It looks like that fucking like Salt Bay wrapped it in gold leaf.
Is there guac on this?
But she knew Orson Welles called her one of the greatest actresses in the world. She lived as flamboyantly off screen as on, frequently serving as a muse and lava to directors. So this old lady, she definitely banged a bunch of guys in the 19th.
I was gonna say.
So thank you for your cervix. We have Barbara Weldon, the French singer, died of a heart attack, possibly brought on by being electrocuted at age 35 while performing on stage at a concert in July. Hell of a way to go, dude. God damn.
I mean, they say the best is, you go out doing what you love. I guess, she was just that last note.
God,
crazy.
Damn.
I mean, imagine being the people that went and saw that show. Like, bro, were you at the last show? Oh yeah, dog.
Yeah, she brought the house down.
Crazy, dog.
The house lights went down and they never came back.
Come back for an encore, dog.
Barbara Weldon, thank you for your cervix.
Barbara, sorry about that.
Dina Merrill, the American actress, businesswoman, and philanthropist known for often playing society women on screen, dies at 93. And this woman's mother built the Mar-a-Lago estate. So we have this old money bitch, not even this person, the woman who gave birth to her, built the Mar-a-Lago estate. So long before Donald Trump ever got his hands on it, this woman's mother just said, I want to have a giant mansion in Florida, and the only people of color who are going to be there are going to work there.
I want to build the White House of Florida is what she set out to do. So thank you. Maybe not thank you for your
that wasn't her mom did that, but her fault. And then RIP to Erin Moran of Joni Loves Chachi fame. Only famously played Joni Cunningham, the younger sister to Richie Cunningham. Spinoff Joni Loves Chachi. Man, Joni Loves Chachi only lasted 82 to 83. I guess marriage wasn't meant to last. And then wrapping it up for another woman that we lost, Mary Tyler Moore, known for playing Laura Petrie on the Dick Van Dyke Show, which it's an old show and it's definitely of its time, but Dick Van Dyke Show, I don't want to say it's underrated, but for being an old show, it holds up. I will say it holds up. Is it Seinfeld? No. Is it Always Sunny in Philadelphia? No. Is it damn good, especially for the time in which it was on TV? Oh yeah. And it has adorable, funny, angelic Mary Tyler Moore. She also was on to be, look at this hottie with a jobby in the Mary Tyler Moore Show. And you might have recently seen her last starring role as this old broad in Better Call Saul. But Mary Tyler Moore, for not winning an Oscar, she was entertainment royalty.
Yeah, bro. I mean, like you said, granted, it wasn't Seinfeld or it wasn't Sunny, but at that time it was. It was like that was back when there were like 6 shows on at night. You know what I mean? So I think that uh and then the writers on that show, I mean, all the crazy, incredible, like heralded writing crew that went through there. So, dude, that it's like in order for other things to run, that had to walk, So I mean, iconic. And thank you, all the ladies.
And ladies, thank you for your cervix.
We
That
salute
is our brand
you
new
in Anachronology.
segment here
You're not
on
worthy.
Anachronology. Well, brother, I
Wow.
mean, we've got 3 new. It's episode 3 of the new season. We've got
Man.
new segments. We've got new categories. We're
Unbelievable.
teasing new goodies for everyone, whether you're on Patreon or not. You're on Patreon, but if you do feels like you want to, throw a little extra of your time and money to watch this show, well then, hey, head on over to patreon.com/anachronology. But man, until next time, man, we covered a bunch of new stuff. We got new segments, new categories. I mean, I don't even know what to say other than thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching us. And we're going to bring you another episode next week. Don't know where we're going. Don't know what we're going to talk about, but it'll be this much fun, if not more, next time on Anachronology. I'll guarantee you that.
Amen to that, Clay. Great episode 2017, 3 incredible categories, awesome segments. And again, like Clay said, it's just not the end. It's only the beginning. Season 2, Anachronology. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time, next year. God knows what that will be.
See ya.
Later.